QNT, Quant, one of the most undervalued altcoins in the space, and I think Quant will be the scarcest asset in crypto. All of the Quant that is on exchanges keeps being withdrawn to cold and hot and cold wallets. They've been taken out of the hands of the exchanges and into the hands of the people, similar to what we saw with Bitcoin before it went on its run from 15 to 16k all the way up to 120k, guys. This is what you're seeing here with Quant as well, QNT as well, right? There's a small number of supply on the exchanges, and people keep withdrawing Quant to their web wallets, to their hardware wallets, because they know the future of Quant and they see a future of success for Quant. People call this the Microsoft of crypto, right? And I don't disagree. After everything we're seeing that the team has been building, what Gilbert has been building, the community that is like an undeniable force in the space, you can't ignore this project, right? ISO compliance as well. It's a lot of things going for this project. It is just undervalued here. But what are you supposed to do when you find undervalued projects? You dollar cost average into said undervalued projects, and then you be patient. You have conviction, be patient. Maybe make a bull post or two, right, in your spare time. You know what? Let me make a Quant tweet. Let me use some AI to make a Quant video or a Quant, content, right? And then eventually, with that time and dedication, you will see success from this space, right? It's this space. I love this space so much. I come from a time where I used to make, anime reviews, horror content, and the viewership there was so much more. And, compared to crypto viewership, where it's very minuscule, but the rewards you get from staying in this space and paying attention to it outweighs so much of any other industry. It's just that there's a lot more in the space. There's a lot more tough times than there are good times. But when it's good times in the space, I'm telling you, it's really good, right? I'll never forget 2024 because that was a great year for me personally. And, on my other channel that I had where I spoke about other projects as well, I had a Telegram group for it. Now I have the Discord group. I shared great projects that did extremely well, right? Some of my subscribers that I spoke to, we talked about Bonk around 10 to 20 mil market cap. That went to 4 billion market cap. We talked about Snek on Cardano. That did extremely well, did a 10 to 30 to 50x. We talked about Pepe at 400 mil market cap. That did a 20x. We talked about, other projects as well that did extremely well, guys, on that channel. And that was all 2024, right? So, I'm doing the same thing now, and I'm, on this channel, and I made this my main channel now. And again, before that took place, 2022 and 2023 weren't that bad, but they weren't great either, right? Last year, 2025, and this year, 2026, has been the most difficult times for me in crypto. I'll be honest. It's been the most difficult times for me in crypto. But I know when the market does get good, or when there's good times in crypto, it's really good times, man. So this is why I'll never leave this space, right? I can see myself, being 60 to 70 years old, still in the crypto space. I really can't see this as my, lifelong career, right? So when I mention all these things and then we take a look at Quant, this is one of the projects that I think could have, again, a 10 to 50x, similar to what some of the projects I talked about in 2024 had, right? Look at what Altcoin Buzz just recently tweeted. The Bank of England is testing. Quant is officially in the lab, the synchronization lab. They're testing atomic treasury automation for the UK's future payment system, the Bank of England Quant, right? Integrating Quant into their atomic treasury automation system, and Gilbert be hand in hand with the Bank of England to achieve this is massive news. I really think that is massive news that a lot of people are, not paying attention to. They're sleeping on this, right? And Quant still remains undervalued, but for the smart investors, they're using this time to accumulate as much Quant as they possibly can, right? And I did say I would go through this from X Finance Bull and his academy. I remember when people ignored Bitcoin because they didn't understand it. QNT has the same energy. So QNT functions as a required key for Quant's network licensing tech, powering over ledger access, enabling enterprise integration. Access and services are not optional, they're baked into the model. As TradFi system fractures and institutions seek blockchain interoperability, tokens tied to real usage gain gravitational pull. Utility-backed demand compounds with adoption. Study the plumbing before you chase the price, right? So I wanted to go through this and, give it a real good look for a video, right? For one specific video, so you guys could go back and take a look at it anytime you want to, right? So native utility token of Quant. That token unlocks access to Quant's technology and network services. So from the first part of this diagram, great breakdown of Quant and its utility and value from X Finance Bull Academy. Make sure you give X Finance Bull Academy and his X Finance Bull account a follow. X Finance Bull right here, right? You guys can see that. QNT is the native utility token of the Quant network. It functions as a core token used within the ecosystem. Core meaning it's used for licensing and access, right? Developers, businesses, and enterprises must use QNT to license access to Quant's technology, including the overledger, right? How it works. Access and services. QNT is required to obtain licenses, developer access, and use services on Quant's blockchain interoperability operating system. Why it matters. Utility focused, not speculative. Demand for Quant comes from actual usage of Quant's network and technology, tying token value to ecosystem adoption. So a lot of projects have their token, but there's no actual use case for the token, right? Even Bitcoin right now is just a store of value when it was supposed to be, the money of the internet, right? That was its original use case, but it's too slow. It's too slow and too expensive to be the money of the internet. So now it's just a store of value. With Quant and the overledger, and Quant Fusion, there's use case for the actual token as well for value proposition and ecosystem adoption, guys, which is awesome to see. And then if we take a look at here in the let me go through key functions first and then take a look at the circular diagram as well. Licensing access to Quant's technology, paying for developer tools and network services. Gateway token for enterprise integrations in the Quant ecosystem. So corporate, TradFi, traditional investors, institutional investors, right? Interoperability, licensing unit, network gateway, enterprise access, right? And I really wanted to go through this and show you guys this and break this down because this is a great breakdown of what Quant is. So if you're ever speaking to someone and explaining Quant, you just give them this diagram right here. You show them this because, again, it's extremely bullish stuff, guys, that is happening here. That Bank of England, Quant and its team being added to the synchronization lab of the Bank of England, the London Stock Exchange as well. It's extremely bullish stuff, man. And I think, like I said, Quant is very undervalued here, and not many people are paying attention to that, right? So right now, Quant is just under $67, just under 807 mil market cap, and in a great spot, in my opinion, where it's at right now for, again, if you're going to DCA into Quant here, QNT here, now would be a good time to do so. The scarcity of Quant just keeps rising. The number of Quant tokens on exchanges keeps decreasing, right? So the shortage of supply is there. Now all we need is the demand, and I think the demand will potentially happen. Obviously, nothing is guaranteed, but I think the demand will happen when the overall macro, or when there's some type of catalyst that gets the ball rolling for Quant, right? The market is very restricted in liquidity right now, which is very sad. We're in a very tough spot right now. Interest rates are still pretty high. There's no easing in liquidity. The Fed share is very hawkish. So the Clarity Act has not passed as yet either. There's a lot of negative things for the overall liquidity of the market. Retail interest is near zero and going into the negative. Like, retail investors are not here at all. But when they do return, when we see the Clarity Act pass, when we see the new Fed chair, when we see a reduction in interest rates, when we see QE, quantitative easing, start, that's when you're going to see the overall market start to really take off, in my opinion. That's when it's really going to be a good time and a great time to be a crypto investor. But now that the fear and greed, and we're in peak fear right now, under 10 in fear, no retail interests, no retail investors here, just the veterans of the space, or people that have been here for a long time already, with a few new people coming in here and there. Now's the time to start to position in the projects, in my opinion. Now's the time to lock in, get to the grind, research, find good gems, and position yourself, right? I think Quant is one of those projects, right? I've been saying this on my previous channel as well. Just has not seen that as yet, but altcoins in general have not seen that. So we just have to be patient and, play it by ear, as people would say, right? So as always, none of this is financial advice. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Join my Discord. It's free. Link to that is in the description. And also support me on my Clips channel, where I post short form content, right? Post short form content there. And, it's really good summary videos. So go subscribe to that and check those out. I'd really appreciate that. Thank y'all so much, and I'll catch you in the next one.